After using my Sony FX30 for over a year with a myriad of glass, I think I've come across the perfect set of lenses to marry with the Sony FX30. Let's talk about it. Gotta love tax-free Delaware. On my way to film an amateur boxing event, figured I'd bring the Nightwalker set with me to test it out in the dark because there's gonna be little to no light in this venue, and I figured it'd be a great test for this 1.2 T-stop. I'm gonna leave it wide open and see how it fares. Big picture. You have a Sony FX30. This camera right now, I want to say it costs like $1,500 and maybe a little bit more when you get the top handle and all that stuff. These lenses as a set are under $1,000 right now. I got them on the Indiegogo campaign, so I got them for like $910, right? For the price point and the fact that they're a T1.2 wide open, feels like the perfect marriage of lens and camera with the Sony FX30, because the Sony FX30 has a dual base ISO of 800 and 2500. And listen, the 2500 ain't bad at all, at least not for me, because I'm always looking for light sources, even when I'm not providing my own. So it's cool for me. But having the comfort of knowing that you can open your lens up to T1.2 and possibly salvage an underexposed image make these lenses so valuable to this camera to me. Now, I know there's other lens mounts for this line of lenses, but particularly for the Sony FX30, it feels like it's the perfect lens for it. Now, you can get more expensive lenses that obviously has less chromatic aberration, that are sharper on the edges, or just a better image in general. But I feel like that's defeating the purpose. If you bought a Sony FX30, are you really trying to spend a lot of money on glass? And I know glass is important, trust me. I have a bunch of glass. I'm hooked on buying lenses, right? But realistically, it's an affordable option for intermediate beginning filmmakers. People that are just starting out, getting their feet wet. So you want to get some cinema glass. You want to learn how to pull your own focus. You want to do all of those cool things. I feel like this lens or this lens set is perfect for that, especially with this camera. Took the 24mm out for a night on the town with the family, checking out some of the houses in our neighborhood, the beautiful lights, just a good test for the lens. Didn't take the 35, wasn't too fond of that focal range. 55's cool. 35 is like that in between, almost unnecessary. Really like the long focal throw and the fact that it's loose. That makes it really easy to throw focus when you're handheld, because I don't really like to rig up my cameras. I know people do, but it made it easier for me.
No such thing as playing both sides, I know. Life is better in the dope ride, I know. The water better in the low tide, music better amplified, staying down for upsides, I know. No such thing as playing both sides, I know. The life is better in the dope ride, I know. The water better in the low tide, music better amplified, staying down for upsides, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Came up off the ignorance, coming from a family drunk cycle and it's belligerent. Me, I sip a little bit, maybe a little more, just trying to keep a score. 2 cups in and knowing my liver sore, and knowing I'm into soar, and knowing I'm in for more. Rewriting destiny right when I hit record. Patching up the trauma, these lyrics is Neosporin. I rose from the concrete away, but it came with thorns, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know.
People are going to have their issues and their problems. Of course, that's just how shit is. But realistically, these lenses are punching way above their weight, just like the FX30 is. Punching way above its weight. Remember, Micro Four Thirds GH6 came out. Come on. GH6 was like $2,000 off rip. And that camera I'm sorry, it just wasn't worth that money. You know, I'd rather just get a GH5 or a GH5 Mark II or GH5S, right? I'd rather just get anything else but that camera, right? And a lot of that is because the price point didn't match the feature set, right? With the Sony FX30, that's not the case. Could there be things that's better? Obviously, right? The same thing goes for the Sirui Nightwalker series, where these lenses are punching way above their weight. They have a very wide open T-stop, right? Very well built glass. Like, this feels sturdy. When you first open that case and see them in the case, it feels like you bought something of quality. That's awesome. That's always a good feeling after you spend $1,000. You know, it might not be a lot to you or a lot to that person, but it's a decent amount of money for us normal people. So for a person getting their feet wet, they want to be a cinematographer. So they're training, they're working to be a cinematographer, or they're a videographer. They're doing documentaries and music videos and those kind of things. I think these lenses are a really good match for this camera. Price point really sells it. You know, under $1,000. You can get the camera and a set of lenses for under $3,000. You really can't beat that for what these lenses do, right? And they didn't give me any money. They didn't send them to me. I spent my own money before anyone says that kind of shit. I just know a good deal when I see it. And I feel like the Sirui Nightwalker series, along with the Sony FX30, is the perfect marriage for the beginner or intermediate filmmaker. And yes, filmmaker, which is a very wide spectrum of things. Filmmaker can mean so many things. For a person that's running around with a camera trying to tell stories, really great set of lenses to pick up. Now, I know Rokinon and a bunch of other companies have good lenses also. I haven't got my hands on those. They're actually more expensive than these. I see those Rokinon autofocus lenses. They look cool too. Very, very great matchup with the Sony FX30. So with that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. Hope everyone had a good time watching this. If you did, hit the like button and do all the other cool things that YouTubers ask you to do. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all stay cool. Y'all stay cool. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Love you more. Peace.